Huh?
Got your phone?
Got my phone. Alrighty. Hello. Hey y'all, welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jen.
And it is hot. It is hot outside. And it is making it hard to do much outside. And when we do, it's really hard to want to grab a camera because you want to get it done and get back in or in the pool, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you get the pool, you do something. You get the pool, you do something. It's
right.
Like not really filmable.
Yeah. So we reached out on social media and said, what's some questions you all have? Because we haven't done a Q&A in quite some time.
Yeah.
And especially we kind of took a break from doing long format videos. So there's been some time in between all that. And so it was a good time to reconnect. Yeah. Let's chat about things.
All right. So we put it out on Facebook and YouTube so that we could be equal, not leave anyone out. And one of our top questions was from Brenda. She said, how do you do it all? How do you keep organized with planting, harvesting, animals, kids, family, and store? Binders, color coding, calendars. It's a full-time job just getting things organized. And that's not doing any of the work. We loved watching your channel. Such a down-to-earth family. And that's a great question.
Yeah. First off, Brenda, thank you for the question. That's a good one. It's one we get asked quite a bit. And do you want to start again?
Go for it.
All right. So I'd say first off, whoever you watch ain't got it all under control. Like, we don't have it all under control. Anybody you watch does not have it all under control. So everything that you're experiencing, we all experience too. So there's a lot. It's a really loaded question on a lot of different things to touch on. First off, organization. Mm-hmm. So our organization looks a little different nowadays. Now that I don't have a job, which that'll be a later question, because the kind of the first and foremost is what's the work? What's going to make us some money today? Just like you all do when you go to work, right? Mm-hmm. Like we need to make some money today. What does that look like? And then secondly, it's garden and livestock health. Mm-hmm. So that we focus on livestock health and gardening. And then after that, that's kind of my priority list. Hers is going to be the kids to start out with, homeschool, doing different stuff like that. And I would say that's the best way that we specifically organize.
Yeah. So how do we organize? Like she said, binders, color coding, calendars, stuff like that. Our two biggest things that we do are lists. We share a list on our phone. So everything I add to the list or take off, he can see it, and then vice versa. And then we also have a whiteboard that we put everything on, whether it's work or work goals or fun goals or things that we want to do this summer or things we want to do in the winter, places we want to go, things we want to see, opportunities we want for the kids. And then that way it's visual. It's not like our necessarily day-to-day to-do list, but it's a visual whiteboard that we have in our face so that we can see our goals and kind of just like work at them all at the same time and mark them off one by one.
Yeah. And then the only last thing I'll add to that question is you are trying to live a homestead life, which a homestead life allows a lot of pop-ups, yes. A lot of you can't plan for this or pop-up because you want to go do something kind of thing. So don't focus so much on the organization. Focus primarily on what is the priority. Specifically in the summer. The summer is not really a time to focus on big projects. It's not a time to focus on that next thing. Like, you're surviving in the summer. So allow yourself some open time to just be like, you know what, today we're going to do this. And be okay with that. Like, are the animals healthy? Are they happy? They're fed? Is the garden all right? Is it watered? And is work done?
Yeah.
Right?
And like as far as animal care and stuff like that, we'll have alarms in our phone, like times that we need to put up the baby goats, or we'll put in there every 6 months to check hooves. Every Monday is herb day. We have alarms for all that kind of stuff. And it just like, there's constantly things going on and we're just looking at the calendar, seeing what the next thing is.
Yeah. Question number 2. You want to go for this one? You want to read it?
I'll read it and then you start.
All right.
Carrie said, how is it going financially and otherwise since leaving your in-person job and relying on YouTube and product sales?
It's going great. So February 2023 was the month that I quit my job and we decided to start fully doing this full time. I will say primarily, I want to make it clear, like the money we make off YouTube and social media specifically was not an amount that is anything that I think a lot of people think it is. Mm-hmm. It is not enough to sustain this household. It is not enough to pay our bills. It's not enough to do any of those things.
It's not even really enough to be fun money.
No,
it's
no.
Just, extra cash that you can set aside.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. Social media continue to changes. You have good months, bad months, but it's not something that, in our opinion, especially in our state. I mean, we're at 100,000 on YouTube, about 700,000 on Facebook. It is nowhere near something that you can just rely on and say this is going to pay our bills. So our primary funding is from our store that we do. We built that from our medicinal herb mindset, and it was just something that we've always wanted to do. We've actually did this before YouTube. We had a company that we called Locust Hill Goods, and we made a lot of home products and stuff like that. So it's always been an interest and a passion into us, but it's going good. Our bills are being paid. I will say that it has been an adjustment for us because we did have both incomes, and so dropping such a large income that I had from my work has been an adjustment to try to get used to. But we're on year 2 of it, and we're making it.
Yeah.
But with that being said, referring back to the first question, we are a little bit more money motivated because it is our livelihood. And so it's not something about pushing, pressuring, anything like that. But we are a company. We are a company that our children eat off our business. So, we're going to promote things. We're going to talk about our business and in all the right ways.
As any business would.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, when we do Harvest Right or Hoss or Greenstock or all that stuff that we talk to you about on here, they're companies that are pushing their products, and that's exactly what we're just trying to do too, just to get our name out there. We thankfully have not had to pay for a penny of marketing. We have no affiliates.
I was going to add that. All of everything that you see from us is all of it. We have not paid for ads or marketing or anyone to come in and try to make it better or get us, further reach. It's just all organic, and we work really hard to do that, and it's a lot of work some days.
Yeah, and it's like one of the things a lot of people, especially on Facebook, they're like, why don't I see your stuff on Facebook no more? Well, at that time, we was working with a company that was pushing our channel a lot. We do not work for them anymore. But it was paid ads. That's the reason that you saw our videos, was because it's being forced in front of you. If you want to continue to see our stuff, just if you have to interact with the page for it to show up on your page. But that's beside the point. It's just, we're not paying for anything. We're just hoping it comes naturally. And just kind of promoting the business, but it's
a day-to-day thing. I hope it's still going in 10 years. Will it be? I have no idea. Yeah. But it's just something that we have to work at every single day.
Yeah, but I can tell you from the truest of our heart, we are as true of a small business as a small business can be. There is nobody else besides her brother that is involved in our business at all. Those are 2 kind of loaded questions. Some aren't as loaded. They can be short answers, and I think this one might be. So, from Miss Carol, any natural ways to balance hormones after menopause?
So we have an awesome tincture. It is called our Chase Tree Berries tincture, and it is great for that purpose. It supports hormone health, it supports menopause, going through it and afterwards. It's just overall fantastic for you, leveling out everything and making sure that you're just on an even ground while you're trying to heal.
And for those of you that have heard me talk about it, it's Chasty. So if you're like, I haven't heard that one. Yeah. It's just, that's, I don't know.
Chase Tree or Chasty.
Yeah, no, I say that.
You know how we both are. Whatever. Just read it.
Yeah. We're
from Kentucky.
Right, it's on the website. It's Chaste. You pick your own way to say it. But before we cut this one, because the next question rolls right into it, Miss Norma asked, do you make all of your tinctures?
Yes, we do. Every single one of them. We put them all together ourselves. We buy the vodka. We either grow the herb as much as we can, or we purchase it, but we purchase from all. They're all grown in the USA. We don't purchase outside of the USA if we have to purchase. And they are put together right down there about 50 steps from our front porch in our little store. And they age here, they're bottled here, and they're shipped from here. So every part of it is just us, or my brother will occasionally help bottle them and put the labels on.
Yep.
James, and this is a very common question that we get over the years. A lot of people ask this, and we try to answer it anytime we get a chance. James wants to know, what was your intro song on your videos that you shot at the compound? I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we did too. So the singer's name is Nicholas Jamerson. He was part of the group Sunday Best. Sunday, S-U-N-D-Y. Drop the A. Sunday Best. It's a local group. We both found them in college, and we absolutely love them. They really were almost there in CMT, And then I think they broke up, and then Nicholas, the lead singer, he went off on his own. Well, when he was on his own, he was not with a label. So we reached out to him. We love his music. And he said, yeah, absolutely, because it was promoting his music to allow it to be on there. So there was a few of them. The primary one was My Old Kentucky Home by him. But you can just search up Nicholas Jamerson on any of your other apps, and you'll find just his music. And that would be the music that we played. I will say this, it is getting harder on social media influencers to use music. So even stuff that like seems copyright free, or if like you're doing a reel or a short and you're picking a song that's known, like it pops up and says, and can't be monetized. So that's why we've been kind of shying away. Like y'all have heard like the same song over and over again on the latest videos because that one doesn't flag us.
Yeah.
And we,
Yeah.
And we're talking, we even use Epidemic Sound, which is a very popular website for copyright-free music, but even those sometimes hit. So if you notice your favorite vloggers and stuff using less and less music, it's because it's getting a little bit harder to use the music. But we love Nicholas. We love all of his music.
Yeah. And nobody wants to, take anybody for granted or not give credit. So it's just easier to stay away from it at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. But Nicholas Jamerson, you can find him on all your music apps. Rolling right into it, Teresa, you coming in, and I appreciate the question. So this is from Miss Teresa. How are you all holding up? Think of you often. Seems like quite a bit of stress for you. You're right, Teresa. You're absolutely
You are
right.
So right.
It's been a lot that has gone on in our lives, and I would say in the last, since we moved here, for the past 5 years, it seems like we haven't had a chance to calm down, cool down, and truly relax.
Just one hit after another.
Yeah, between fathers passing, grandparents passing, lawsuit.
Which we're still in.
Yeah, so by the way, let's just go ahead and touch on that. We're not being sued for anything to do with social media. That hasn't, I saw when we brought out the video, where have we been and this and that. I saw a lot of things come up with the lawsuit and different stuff. Nothing. There is absolutely nothing to do with social media or anything like that has to do with the lawsuit. I promise if it ever freaking ends, we will tell you all about it. But I didn't want you to think that it had anything to do with this. That's not the reason we started doing long videos or anything. So. But it has been a major stressor that has been...
Such a hard question because it feels like a therapist asking how you're doing, and you could just go on for hours.
Yeah, you could just completely let it all hang out. But we can't right now. We can't. We would love to. I mean, we still don't see an end in sight. I have no idea when it's going to end, but just primarily know that we're trapped exactly at this immediate spot and can't say much. But that's a stressor.
Yeah.
2 dads passing. What was you going to say? I don't know what to about the time.
It's hard. It's so hard.
I mean,
one day it won't be hard, and we'll just... I cannot wait for that day.
Literally at this point, I could care less if you did want to say something. I mean... when you get to the point where it's I just don't care no more. I really don't care. There's so many other things in life that are happening to us that this is the most minuscule thing that I could ever imagine, and I just want it to be done. But it's once things hit the legal process, it is the most ridiculous. I'm digging in. I'm digging in. The legal process is completely messed up. It is the most jacked up thing that I've ever seen, and just like everything in our world, it's about people making money. That's it. Besides the person that's in it,
and taking advantage of whoever that you can.
Completely taking advantage of. It's just all about how much money can lawyers and government pull in before they end it.
And the person who started the lawsuit, which is my biggest problem. My biggest problem is not even the lawyers and all that, but karma. I believe in it, and it will come full circle, and we won't have to do a thing. But I still will. Just to make myself feel better. That's all.
So, Teresa, we're doing well. The funny thing is the lawsuit, it pops up once every 6 months.
Sometimes it takes a year in between it.
Right, so we forget about it. And then it gets brought up, and then all of that built up pressure comes back, and we're like, well, we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about. Yeah. But yes, you're correct, Teresa. So if you're new or if you haven't caught all of our videos, we have the lawsuit going on. I've had both of my dads pass, my stepdad and my dad.
Nanny lived in this house and we took care of her and she passed.
Yes, and then we've had just the move in general for all of us, between my mom, her parents, us, all completely in different towns that we haven't been in.
Living here in itself is a whole struggle.
We are living in a very extremely small town that we're an hour and a half away to do anything, but I would say that is the part we've adjusted to the best. We have adjusted to that best. We don't mind traveling. We don't mind going places to do things. We're fine. We're fine, Teresa. Moving on. All right. Thank you, Teresa.
I feel better.
Good. That's all that matters. All right. Miss Bonnie said, can you take 2 or more tinctures at the same time? Like, can you mix them together in a drink and take them together at the same time?
Yes, and that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people will put them in like orange juice or a tea, and that helps with like the flavor and the texture and all of that. And you can definitely mix them together. It will totally take away the taste, because that's the biggest thing, right? Is the herb and the vodka that are infused together. So it definitely helps with that. And most of them you can take at the same time. However, we always tell people, if you have any kind of questions of what you're taking, coupled along with if you're on routine medication, that is something to talk to your doctor about, and we'll always say that. We'll always stand behind that because it's very important. However, if you're just taking our tinctures and you have no other medical conditions, whether it be from pregnancy all the way up to diabetes or whatever, then you can take the tinctures together all at the same time.
There you go. Miss Victoria said, classes on how to make tinctures, maybe? So that is something that, the thing about tinctures is they're very easy. They're very easy to do. And she did make an ebook on how to make tinctures, and I promise y'all it's so simple. Like, we're talking herbs infused in vodka that you let sit for 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks ish, and then you strain them, and then you put them in 2-ounce bottles, and then you take them. That's literally what it is to make a tincture. The complications with tinctures is understanding what the herb does.
Yes.
But that is definitely research that you can do on your own. Or, I mean, like I said, we do deep dives into herbs like twice a week on this channel, and we talk about what different herbs do for different ailments in your body. So, if those are kind of hidden, write those down, take notes. Google is a good friend in that area, but specifically on just how to make tinctures, it's the easiest thing you can make.
Yeah, and we have before in the past done, I wouldn't say like classes, but like Zoom calls on how to do things, whether it be like tinctures, salves, or recipes, or gardening, or animals, whatever that is. I mean, we would love to bring that back. Like, that was a really, really good time. We just need to know that there's interest.
Yeah.
And if there is interest, that's something that we can bring back, whether it's a live event or whether it's a course that just gets posted that you become a part of.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Dana asked, I bought a comfrey plant and not sure what to do with it. Greetings from West Central Missouri. Greetings.
Dana? I have done so many videos about comfrey plants, Miss Dana. No, I'm just kidding. Comfrey built Stivers Homestead. I stand on that ground. Comfrey is the reason that the business got created from the first place. Comfrey is a beautiful plant to do for so many things. So, first off, your comfrey plant. Just plant it. Plant it wherever you want to. Shade, sun, wet, dry. Thing's gonna grow. It will definitely grow wherever you want. There's two different ways comfrey plants spread, either by the root or by the seed. Either way, they're gonna take over an area. But it's a good thing to take over. Comfrey is, let it grow. Give it a spot to let it just take off. You can either put it in a raised bed or let it plant like kind of wild in a field kind of thing if you don't mow it a whole lot. But let it grow. So, comfrey, what's it good for? At the minimal, it's great to just cut and drop into your raised garden beds or wherever your gardens are, because they're natural fertilizer. Literally, you cut them and you drop them into the ground, and you don't even have to till it in there. Just let them melt into it. They're just going to compost right into there, and it's going to be great fertilizer for your dirt. Secondly, the next minimalist thing, if you have animals, it's great for animals to eat.
And they love it.
Yes, they love it so much. You're going to cut it and you're just going to throw it over into their field. You're going to calm them down. They're going to scrumptious it all up. The third, scrumptious. The third is you can make comfrey tea. So if you don't want to just cut and drop, you can make a comfrey tea to fertilize your garden as well. Now that stinks.
And we're not talking about a tea that you drink. This
No,
is a tea
this is
for
for
your garden.
fertilizer.
This is like a compost tea.
Yes. So Google comfrey tea for fertilizer, and you'll get the ingredients on how to like make that mixture. be ready for about one of the worst smells you'll ever smell in your life. But it is fantastic for that. So it turns into more like a fish liquid.
It's more concentrated.
Exactly. So you're going to get more benefits more quicker. That would be if you have like plants and you want that plant specifically to get the benefits from it. Fourth, the medicinal side of things. You want to tell them about the salves and the poultice and all
Yeah,
that?
so we use it mainly for salves. We make our comfrey salve in our store and we sell it. Everybody loves it. We love it. It's something that we use like every single day, whether it's for us or the kids. It's great on breaks in your bones, any kind of joints and ache pains. You just rub it on like you would a biofreeze and it relieves that pain so much. You can also do a poultice. I've done a poultice many times on me and our children and Zach. And that's where you just mash it up with a little bit of water, put it into some kind of like a cheesecloth or a muslin cloth and just apply it straight to the area. And that is a whole lot more concentrated. Like if you have a break or a sprain or just a really, really, really bad muscle or joint pain. And it's wonderful. Comfrey is amazing. It's so easy to grow and you can use it for so many things.
And there's also more things that you can do with it, but that are the top things that we use for it. So plant it. You got plenty of things to use for that comfrey.
Mike said, I've got questions. We have not found goat keeping to be worth it. Any tips on keeping expense and workload down?
So Mike, I had a very similar thought before we got goats. I told her I didn't understand the value of goats, and I didn't know what they were going to provide back to us outside of just joy, right? You know, I was trying to figure out what's the business side of things. I will say goats are one of our primary business avenues. The goat milk. Like the goat milk is extremely valuable in so many different ways. I don't know your state. I don't know your laws. I don't know what you're dealing with. But we sell ours for animal consumption only, you know. And the thing about goat's milk is people are going to like try to go, wasn't that? But it's almost as close to a woman's human breast milk as we can possibly get. The nutritional value between a breast milk of a human woman and a goat is similar. It's close. It can be replaced if need be. So that's a great marketing aspect on itself. If you don't want to go that route, you got goat's milk soap, you got goat's milk lotion, you got all kinds of stuff that you can do with goat's milk. It's great for the skin. It is fantastic for our skin when it comes into those different like health and beauty products. So I know that's easy to say. Getting the customers might be a little bit more difficult because it's very popular. But if you can get the customers, goats can be very, very valuable in that direction.
Yeah, it's just something you have to build up over time.
Yeah.
You're not going to get customers overnight and have this whole client base for everybody who wants soap. And it is very popular. So it's, excuse me, it's a it's a very competitive market, but you can get yourself to the top and make the best goat milk soaps and lotions that there are. So just getting your foot in the door, and it does take time, but it is very profitable.
Yeah, absolutely. So, before we leave you, Mike, you also did say how to keep costs down. So, I'm not sure exactly what we're feeding and what we're doing there, what our pastures look like. But, like, right now, we're feeding our goats about every animal, about a half-gallon bucket of sweet feed. Like, that's it. We're talking a very minimal amount because our pastures are lush and they're green, and I want them to eat that.
And they switch between 3 pastures.
Yes, 3 pastures. So, yeah. So, right now, your cost should be low. You know, you can be hoof trimming yourself. We should be doing just more of like an herb to keep any pesticides and worms away, or parasites. Sorry, I always say pesticides. I don't know why my brain does that. To keep those low, we shouldn't be putting a whole lot of cost into our goats at this moment. Now, winter, you know, we got a little bit more hay, a little bit more feed, but I will say they're less than cattle. Like you're going less than cattle in the winter, so. Yes, they're expensive-ish, but I mean, you're gonna face that with livestock in general, unless you just have birds. You know, birds can just eat bugs. So
it depends on how you're keeping them and raising them. If you have them on pastures, your feed cost is lower. If you have them on rocks or on dirt, your feed cost is higher because they do have to eat. They have to have pasture to get to, or they have to have dry hay to get to. So if they don't have either one of those things, then your feed cost is going to be higher.
Yeah. All right. Last but not least, this is one that some of y'all, this probably went so quick in a blimp of everybody's eye that's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Because we did it for a little bit, then we stopped doing it because that was kind of when we kind of stopped doing all on videos. But babe, lay it on.
Deborah wanted to know any thoughts on continuing the Stivers Uncensored.
So the Stivers Uncensored was our marriage channel. We talked about stuff that we've been through. We try to give advice-ish, like basically just our own experiences on different things that we have faced throughout our 11 years of our marriage. And it was fun. We really enjoyed it. It was a good time. Now, Deborah, I will say, as much as we enjoyed it, the interest really didn't seem to be there. So, would we do it again? Absolutely. We'd absolutely do it again. We love our marriage and our family more than we love Homestead. Like, absolutely, period. Like, that's it, right? Like, if you don't...
We could get stale talking about homesteading, but we'll never get stale talking about our marriage.
Exactly. But we did, about 3 months of it, and it just didn't seem like it was going to be a channel that was going to do much. And unfortunately, where time is money, we had to kind of make that sacrifice to say, well, maybe we shouldn't be putting so much time and effort into that. And I know it seems like it's like, well, that was just like a 12, 15-minute video. A lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. That kind of takes basically a whole day to get a video out into the public. But we absolutely loved it.
Yeah. And like we said, if there's enough interest, let us know and we'll consider it.
Yeah.
Because it was fun.
It was. Every animal decided to eat right at this moment. Go on. Go on. Thank you. This was fun. We enjoy doing Q&As. We've done several amongst our lifespan since 2019 when we started this channel, but we hadn't done one in a while, so I enjoyed it. If you do have more questions, put them down below. We'll load them up. If you're going to see the question, you're like, I would want to know that too. Hit that like button on their comment so we know that there's a lot of interest in that one, and we'll make sure to highlight it. But anything else that you would like to add?
I don't think so.
All right.
Hopefully it'll cool down soon.
Hopefully. Yeah, hope everybody's surviving. There was one question about animals in heat. Give them shade. Change that water often.
Yeah, fresh water.
Yeah, make sure they keep having fresh water because we just got in our pool that's a lot bigger than animals' water and it's already hot.
Yeah.
So if that's hot, imagine their water. So just keep changing that stuff out. But y'all, we love you. Thank you for hanging around and hopefully we get a break from this hot temp soon.
Yep, we love you.
Until the next one.
Bye.
Bye. Ew.